Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to our open evening. This is our second presentation of three, and I hope you have a really good evening. I hope you have a chance to find out what Hailsham Community College is all about if you haven't been here before. I do recognise some familiar faces and some ex-students that I taught a few years ago, so I'll give you an indication that I've been here a little while. But it's lovely to see you all here, and there's two parts to this. There's a chance to see the college tonight, and that's about all the buildings, having a chance to talk to all the staff and asking questions of what goes on in each department and each of the subjects. But there's also another opportunity for you to come back and see what I think is more important, which is the college on a typical day. I think that's really important to get a feel of what a school is like and is actually running. And that opportunity is a week after next, and you can book up open morning visits during that week. So if you'd like to come back, feel free to do so. So I think it's a real two-part opportunity to see what Hailsham Community College is all about. My name is Phil Matthews. I'm the executive principal of the whole college, and when I say the whole college, 3 years ago we became an all-through school. So we were an 11 to 18 secondary academy. We are now an all-through school, which means that we have a primary phase, which caters, we have a preschool, and it caters for children of a primary age. And currently, since the primary school was built, we're up to year 3 at the moment. That's our current year, and next year and the years after we'll go year 4, 5 and 6, and eventually the year 6s will be our children coming through to year 7. So we have a primary phase, and of course on this site we cater for 11 to 18-year-old students. So we have a post-16 sixth form offer here as well. But it's fantastic and very exciting to have an all-through school. I do honestly believe that all-through education and progression from a young age is very important for the young people, and it's important for continuity. It also supports transition across the different phases as well. Our vision, I'm sure, if you're going to a number of presentations from different schools, you'll hear the heads talking about vision. And I don't think what my vision and our vision for this college will be very different from anywhere else. We want to be the very best college we can be by providing excellent education. I think if we didn't want to do that, it wouldn't be worth our salt. We shouldn't be doing this job. It's about providing the very best we can for the young people that we serve. And it's about the community we serve. Stakeholders is a very fancy word for the community. We have always been a very, very strong community college. That's always been at the heart of everything we've done. It's been a real challenge in the last 3 years because I think COVID really cut across that community simply because of the difficulty in terms of relationships whilst COVID was happening. We had lockdowns. It was really difficult. This September, I have to say, is the first time where I think we're really able to get back to normal now and where we should be with those sort of community aspects and those relationships. And we want to be amongst the very best colleges, not only locally but nationally as well. But really important. We're always striving to be better and better and better at what we do. And within that relationship, and this again, talking about the last 3 years and the challenges we've had, one of the things I've really recognised is the importance of the relationship between the teachers, the children, and the parents. And what we do emphasise is how important that three-way relationship is between the children, the parents, and ourselves to support the young people in doing the very best they can in their lessons. That really is what community is all about. So that we can be a community that is proud of its links with the college as well. So very, very important to us, that aspect of it. Now, one of the things that sometimes you may be aware of is if you've been associated with the college already, is over the last couple of years, this site has been a bit of a building site. And that is because we've gone through a major development. The local authority first of all funded the development of our primary phase, and that was wonderful to be able to achieve that. And then the local authority came back to us and said, actually, we'd like to develop new buildings on your secondary phase. So we've had a sort of multi-million-pound project in the last 2 years to develop our facilities here. And they are fully complete now. We've come back this September, all the building works is finished, and what you'll see tonight is the result of that. So I suppose the main part of that project is the development of a new teaching block with 22 state-of-the-art classrooms, lovely sized classrooms. On the top floor there are massive art rooms with a beautiful outlook across the fields, but all the rooms are an expansive size and they really add a lot of additional resource and space to the college. On top of that, we have refurbished the existing technology blocks. That's been fully refurbished with new equipment, new fittings, Lightings, windows, everything's there as well. We have a brand new all-weather facility, and I think probably, again, those of you that know the college well will know we've always had good sports facilities. We have an additional flooded all-weather facility now that was put in place as part of the project. So we have 2 flooded all-weather facilities. So again, for people who are into sport and outdoor activities, there's a lot there for you to take part in. We've refurbished our sixth form centre. I've always been campaigning here that this college needs its own sixth form centre, and again through the project we actually have a sixth form centre dedicated for those students. So our sixth form and post-16 students now have those facilities. And whilst sixth form time might seem a long way off, the next 5 years will go very quickly, and we're always thinking about how we can support the young people into the next stage of their education and what opportunities we can provide for them. And we are a careers hub lead school for the county for secondary schools. So our careers department does a lot of work with young people about thinking about possible careers in the future. We've redeveloped our SEND area, and that's now a purpose-built facility within the new teaching block. We call it the hub, but it supports all students who have additional needs. And if you want to know any more information about that, we will have members of staff around tonight that can actually direct you to that area and support you in knowing more about how we support those young people. We've refurbished our learning support area, which is, children call it the library, but it is more than a library. It's got the books, but it's also got lots of online resourcing materials to support the learning of young people. We've added extra entry and exit points because as we've grown in size, we wanted to make sure that young people could flow onto and flow off the site safely, so we've developed that. And one thing I personally made a big fuss about, I know a lot of primary schools have built daily mile tracks. I wanted a daily mile track here, so when we had the new development done, we had a daily mile track, a path, a cement concrete path, put around the field so that young people can walk, run, cycle around that, both within their lessons, but also, if they want to do that during mental time, they can actually have time to walk around the area, around the site, on the path, and I think that's a really important thing for mental health and well-being, which we know, I think, these days is something that's a really high priority in all schools and for all young people. I'm going to hand over in a moment to my head of school, Dave Miller. I was going to finish off by sort of emphasising our motto, be the very best you can be. I always believe very strongly that if you approach each and every day trying to make the most of that day, being the very best you can be on that day, continue learning, continue striving to be better than you were the day before, you will get to where you want to be. That's our motto. That's one we talk to students about a lot, along with that sort of positive mindset and positive approach to things. It was really nice that when we had Foster here in March 2017, that was the quote they left in our report, that our unwavering commitment and determination to achieve that was really obvious for them to see, and that's incredibly important to us. So I'm going to hand over to Dave Miller, my head of school, who will talk to you a bit more about the detail of the secondary phase.
And a welcome from me. As Mr. Matthews said, my name is Dave Miller. I have the privilege to be the head of the secondary site here at HCC. And the first thing that I'd like to introduce to you is what we call our carbs. These are our key values, and you'll see these around the site as you go around. And these are the things that we hold most dear and that support the education experience of the young people in this room. Consistency. We firmly believe in a very clear, consistent culture to support an extremely high level of expectation for the young people at the school. That consistency may be in those things such as uniform, standards around behaviour, but it also applies to consistent practice in terms of aspects such as teaching and learning and the diet that the students receive in the classroom. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. We are hugely aspirational for the young people in this room. We are hugely aspirational for the school. Mr. Matthews mentioned already, we don't just want to be one of the best schools locally, we want to be one of the best schools nationally. And people from this school do go on to achieve great things. You see the honours board on the wall there of all the young people who grew up and have gone to university. We have an alumni that stay in contact with the college, and to see and hear some of the stories and some of the achievements that people go on to do is absolutely fantastic. Respect. Respect is at the absolute heart of everything we do here. That's respect for each other, So that's respect for student, that's respect between staff and students, and that's obviously respect for the fantastic environment that we have around us, and you'll see that lovely new environment down in the new build down in the bottom. We are most definitely a community, and you are part of that community as parents, as grandparents, as uncles, as relations. In fact, Hailsham is part of our community. We're in a very unique position in that we are that 2 to 19 provider for the town and the local area. So we want to foster that sense of community and that massive sense of belonging, whereby students feel proud to be part of the college, and actually, when they leave college, they genuinely miss being here. That's the expectation. That's where we want them to be. And obviously, a lot of these things are linked to standards. So we have extremely high standards for the students here, which links to the standards in terms of the students' learning experience. And I'll talk a little bit more about what actually happens in the classroom in a moment. It's not just about the classroom though, it's about enrichment opportunities. Obviously over the past 2.5 to 3 years, things have been a little bit different. We haven't been able to do perhaps the things that we've done in the past, but these are some of the things that we will be doing as we move forward out of that period of time now. Year 8 trip to Blacklands, John Muir Award, ski trips, trips to Switzerland, trips to Iceland, trips to New York. I mentioned the dancers in a minute. We did a dance trip to Disneyland Paris. I'll show you a little bit more about that. All the young people here can participate in those activities. We have a huge amount of sports teams. There's a picture there of the girls who were in the National Trampolining Championships. We've actually been champions of National Trampolining Championships for a number of years. There's one of the football teams over there that compete in the local leagues, the regular fixtures against other schools, and various competitions. And that's the picture of the girls down the bottom that went to Disneyland Paris to compete against other dance troupes in sort of an international competition there, which was an absolutely fantastic experience for them. I don't know how many of you over the summer came to this at the college. It was absolutely brilliant. It blew me away. It was an absolute highlight for the students who participated in it, but also the wider college community. It did look like a professional production. It was absolutely brilliant. And it's not just about the young people that you see in that picture, it's about all the people that did the things in the background, and all the people that supported the evenings, and all the wider team around that. Future events, we're going to be regularly, or the Performing Arts Department are going to be regularly putting together future performing arts events. If you're interested in that side of things, please, when you go around, do ask those questions about what they're planning to do in the future. We also run a summer school. We've run a really big summer school for the past 2 years. This summer, for 2 weeks, in the first couple of weeks of summer holidays, we had 240 young people out of the 300-ish that were coming into Year 7 that attended our summer school. It's a great opportunity for you to come into the school and get your head round the school and who's in the school and what it's like. It's not normal school, it's lots of enrichment opportunities, it's crafts, it's art, it's trips, it's sports, with a bit of educational side of it as well. So a really good step in the door to make that big step in September feel a lot easier. So, a little bit more then about when you're in school and about that school experience. So on the pastoral side of the school, we have a house structure here. So we're split into 6 different houses, and each of those houses has 2 mentor groups in each year group. So 2 year 11s, 2 10s, 2 9s, 2 8s, 2 7s. So you have a vertical, it's called a vertical system. And that basically means that the young people in year 7 can make links with the older students who can support them in their houses around the school. We have a recognition system here that we use a system called Class Charts that makes sure that every lesson is an opportunity to reward those characteristics that we see valuable. It's not just about how much work you do, it's about thinking about out of the box, it's about creative thinking, it's about stepping out of your comfort zone, all sorts of different criteria that we can award young people for and the values that we see that will be valuable to them. And obviously on the other side around that rewards, we also have a very, very clear behaviour policy that consists of clear actions and consequences in an escalating framework, so that everybody is very clear what the expectations are in and around the college. So what happens in the classroom? Well, I will just reiterate what Mr. Matthews said a moment ago, which is obviously not next week, but the week after. There's an opportunity for you to come in and see the school in action on our open mornings. So if you do want to book into that, that's on our website. Please do come and see us in action. But on a daily basis, in the classroom, you'll see a curriculum that's delivered that's based around skills and knowledge, and it's based around skills and knowledge to make the young people successful in whatever it is they go on to do in their future lives. Now, maybe we don't even know what some of the young people are going to do in their future lives now, but that's the basis of our curriculum. It's applicable to the real world around us. We have a massive focus on literacy, because we know that literacy is essential to success. And every minute of every lesson is meant to count. So when the students come into the classroom at the beginning, there'll be a do it now activity ready for them to get on with. That'll be based around recall and retrieval, where they're looking at past learnt knowledge and making sure they're bringing it back out of that long-term memory, bringing it back into the short-term memory, processing it again, putting it away again, bringing it out, bringing it back. Like that process of continual recall and retrieval. There's planning for reading ages, there's planning for barriers to learning, so we make sure that all the students can access the lesson. And while I mentioned barriers to learning at that point, I just want to introduce a member of staff at the back here, who's Miss Maxwell. Miss Maxwell is our Senko, and she leads the hub. So if you have a young person who has an EHCP or is in the process of applying for an EHCP, in a moment at the end of the session, please feel free to go and talk to Carol about any aspects of that, and then we will hook you up with the tool a little bit later on. There's a very strict expectation around chatter in the classrooms, a real expectation around periods of silence for hard working to give students the opportunity to think. And you won't be surprised to hear we expect all students to follow instructions very, very swiftly and for the first time to promote that respectful culture in the college and around those very clear standards that I was mentioning before. Safeguarding. The safety of the children here is the absolute priority in everything we do. We promote healthy lifestyles around that mental health, that mental well-being agenda. We've just run a series of safeguarding assemblies led by Miss Maxwell over the last couple of weeks, whilst I've been doing a series of assemblies around aspiration. We have a comprehensive safeguarding team that supports the students but also supports you as parents and carers. And we also have student safeguarding ambassadors who are young people in the college community who support their peers. So I'm going to introduce you now to one of our student safeguarding ambassadors. So I'll just introduce you to Jamie, who's just going to talk to you very briefly.
Hi, my name is Jamie and I am a peer mentor, and there are lots of us, and we are here to help students who may need someone to talk to. These are some of the things we discuss with students: friendship issues, family issues, bullying, worries and feeling alone. You can tell who we are as we wear special ties. We also have peer buddies who wear lanyards and will be in the playground at break times for anyone that wants to see a friendly face. We hope you choose to come to our school and have a lovely time touring around our school. Thank you.
So you've got the picture of my perspective of what we do and how we do it, but you also want to look around in a minute, but more importantly, rather than my perspective, I just want to give you the perspective of a couple of young people in Year 11 who are currently at the college. So I'm going to introduce you to Naomi and Wes. Naomi's going to speak first. Speaking from the heart, they've come up with this themselves. I'll hand straight up.
Hello, I'm Naomi and I'm a Year 11 student here at HEC. I've enjoyed my time at this school and wanted to share some positive points with you to help you understand the college and how it works. I would like to share with you how teachers have put themselves out to give me additional help in some topics. For example, one of my science teachers has been willing to give up their lunch break on several occasions to help me understand a topic I have found particularly tricky during the previous lesson. They went over the topic briefly and further expanded on and broke down parts of it I wasn't understanding. This helped me to have a good all-rounded knowledge of the topic. I've also had the privilege of going on many trips with the school, but the one that stood out the most to me was our trip to Oxford University. The The trip gave me the opportunity to understand how university life works and all the different paths further education can take. You can even study part-time at Oxford in apprenticeships. I really enjoyed the atmosphere created by the old historic buildings and how they encourage a positive working environment. Here at HSC I've received some careers guidance both in a personal meeting, mental time and PSHE lessons. I'm currently being supported with writing my personal statement and finding out about sixth form colleges. From year 8 to year 10, my mentor was Mr. It was really nice to be able to walk in every morning, and the first teacher I saw was someone I knew wanted the best for me. He would always ask how I was every morning if I needed any help or had any questions. On the occasion I did have a problem, he would come up with a possible solution and always try and help. What really stood out was that he always did what he said and followed through. This helped me trust him to deal with any problems because he did what he said, and therefore I knew I could always ask him. This was a big reason why he was such a good mentor, as he never let me get down or gave me any reason to doubt him. After I leave school next year, at the moment I'm thinking of going to East Sussex College as I want to study A-levels. My teachers have really helped me to decide on what A-levels to take so I can achieve my potential. For example, my 3 science teachers have given me some A-level books to borrow and really to help me decide on which science discipline would be the best fit for me. Some of my other teachers, such as maths, music and geography, are doing extra lessons to help me achieve the best GCSE results I can, helping me get onto my chosen A-level courses. I hope my personal experience has been informative and helpful about HEC.
I'm sure we want to get through this, so I'm going to try and keep it nice and short. But my name is Wesley, as you've heard, and I've been asked to talk about a couple of things to you all. And the first one is cases teachers helping me. Now, there's so many of these, but a couple stand out, right? Mr. Angela Ford, I mean, I'll go so far to call him one of my friends at this point. I mean, he's been so easy to talk to for me, and he's progressed my education so far in biology and other sciences. I mean, he's been a huge influence on my life, and I honestly can't show my appreciation enough. And that's obviously not just to him, but so many other teachers as well. And into the curricular side more, I mean, my confidence in so many subjects has just skyrocketed over the past few years, especially English. I mean, to be honest, my friends are starting to hate me a little bit because I do not shut up about the fact that I did get a 9 in my English mock. But seriously, I do feel so much support around me from my friends and my teachers, and I don't doubt that I'll do pretty solid in my GCSEs. Now, on to my experiences. I love sport, right? You've heard Mr. Miller talk about some of the things we do here. But I played in the rugby squad. How many times am I going to mess this up this evening? This is very honestly. Anyway, I played in the rugby squad, run 1.5k inter-schools, swum the goalers, you name it, and I might have probably done it. Now, all of these are some of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. And I've met such a wide variety of people, not to mention my year has been on top in all areas of sport, especially the athletics, which for me is a big thing, it's very competitive. Now, I've done so much other stuff as well. In the past year, I've been to Southampton University, which my sister coincidentally attends, and even Oxford, which I have to say, the food there was immaculate. Now, next year, I plan on going to college and getting a nice little collection of science-based A-levels to progress me along my career path, either at this sixth form or at another local college. The support for careers and my future in general here is beyond incredible. And on the daily, I receive so much information about where I can take my life and what colleges I can visit and so on and so forth. I mean, I'm confident that because of HCC, my life is heading in the exact direction that I want it to be projected. Thank you for listening, and I wish you the very best for this evening. Have a good time.
One last thing before I bring the tour guides in, and that's the information on the board here. After you've had a look around this evening, we obviously hope we will be our school, your school of choice. It's very important that you meet that deadline in terms of applying for those school places. Most of the headaches occur for people when they don't meet their deadline. So the information there is on the board where you can apply for that place at secondary school. Thank you ever so much for listening to people in this room. We're going to give you the opportunity now to go and have a look around the place. If you stay sat down here, I will make sure that we take you out row by row, hook you up with a student guide who will tour you around the place. Thank you ever so much for listening. Hope you enjoy your